Peppa and George spotted a kite soaring high in the sky and decided to try flying their own kite. Peppa started running fast, pulling the kite up, but sometimes the wind just wouldn't cooperate. The kite flew high and spun around, making Peppa stumble. But George was ready to help. Together, they ran, keeping the kite stable in the wind. Finally, the kite flew high in the clear blue sky, and Peppa and George felt so proud. Although the adventure was a bit tough, Peppa and George knew that joy came from the simplest moments.
Magic from the pig box!
It is raining heavily outside. Peppa and George look out the window. Oh, look! The whole world today has suddenly turned into a dull and boring shade of grey. Peppa suddenly has a wonderful idea. If the world has no colour, the two siblings will paint it themselves. A splash of green for the thirsty little plants. Look, the leaves have started to wake up and dance joyfully in the wind. George gives the sky a bright golden sun. And just like that, those loving brushstrokes have chased away the gloom. The gray world from before has now become a beautiful rainbow masterpiece.
The little star catcher. The night is deep. Peppa is sound asleep. But look, a little star is gliding by. Wake up, Peppa. Today, you're going to be a star catcher. Look, stars are falling. Gently, Peppa. Let's catch them. One star, 2 stars. The jar is lighting up. It's magic. Now Peppa has a magical nightlight. Good night, little star catcher.
The magical weather battle. Whoa! Peppa and George have some truly magical weather wands. Wow! Peppa loves the bright summer. Look, the sun has woken up. But George wants to play in the snow. Chilly winter has arrived. Oh no! The weather is all mixed up! It's sunny and snowy at the same time! No matter the season, playing together is the best, isn't it?
Giant egg. In a forest, there were 2 giant eggs sitting next to each other. They looked like they were about to hatch. Suddenly, sounds came from inside the eggs. Clack, 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 pop, pop. Peppa and George were taking a walk when they discovered the 2 giant eggs. They walked closer to take a look and were surprised to hear the sounds coming from inside.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
Click, 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 click. The egg vibrated, startling Peppa and George. Peppa and George quickly ran to Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig to tell them about the giant eggs. The 2 eggs are still together, so cute. Pig had a great idea to keep the eggs safe. Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig covered the eggs with soft straw to keep them warm and help them hatch. After a while, the giant eggs finally hatched. 2 mischievous baby dinosaurs came out.
Whoa!
The baby dinosaurs loved the ripe yellow bananas. They jumped around happily and played together.
Little Pig and his sister decided to explore a forest that was said to have many strange things, but no one expected that. Today would be a special adventure. As they went deeper into the forest, they came across a giant tree, standing tall in the middle of the road, but not any ordinary tree. Suddenly, a mysterious warning rang out from within the tree. Be careful, darkness is approaching, and things will never be the same again. Suddenly, the atmosphere changed. The shadows of the trees began to move, but it wasn't the wind. Little Pig and Sister Pig ran faster, but the darkness seemed to be unyielding. And in the end, nothing strange happened. Everything was in the sisters' imagination. Peppa and the Little Umbrella House. Peppa walks into the garden and sees an umbrella lying on the grass. Peppa curiously walks closer. Peppa presses the button, and the umbrella pops open. Peppa is slightly startled, then smiles happily. George hears the sound, runs over, and looks at the open umbrella.
Whoa!
Peppa slowly lowers the umbrella to the floor. Peppa gently pats the floor to signal George. George crawls under with her. A gentle breeze makes the umbrella tilt slightly. The 2 siblings try to steady the swaying umbrella. The umbrella becomes steady again. Peppa and George look at each other in relief. They both laugh happily.
Peppa Pig and the Hopscotch Dance. Peppa held the chalk, completing the final strokes for square number 10. She stood at the starting line, taking a deep breath full of confidence. The numbers are ready! Peppa is preparing to perform her most skillful hopscotch jump ever. Hop away, Peppa. 1 foot, 2 feet. So skillful! Look how well she balances herself! It was George's turn. He tried to lift one leg but wobbled a little. George jumped with both feet into square number 1 and giggled. George wants to give it a try too. It's a bit tricky, but George is trying his very best. Let's reach the finish line together. Hopscotch not only keeps us healthy, but is also so much fun to play together. The fun of waiting in line. Oh look, the new slide is so exciting. Everyone wants to slide down quickly. But wait a moment, little ones. One at a time, everyone will get a turn. Standing in line properly makes the game much safer and more fun. Waiting can be a fun game too. The little ones are chatting and making up mini games while they wait in line. It's Peppa's turn. Whee! That was great! Then we patiently go to the back of the line to let others have their turn. Learning to wait helps us become better friends. What a meaningful day at the park! Peppa and the hamburger. Peppa sits on a picnic blanket with a basket beside her. Peppa opens the basket and takes out a hamburger. Peppa looks at the sandwich happily.
Whoa!
George stands nearby and looks at the sandwich. Peppa holds the hamburger, about to eat. Suddenly, Peppa drops the sandwich onto the blanket. Peppa looks at the hamburger in surprise. George bends down and looks at the hamburger. Peppa picks up the hamburger. Peppa gives the hamburger to George. George holds the piece and smiles. Peppa takes another hamburger from the basket for herself. Then they eat the hamburger.
2 hours later.
Peppa stands up after eating. They run around the yard and laugh.
Hide and seek in a box. Peppa and George are playing hide and seek. Peppa closes her eyes and counts to 10. George needs to find a hiding place quickly. George has found a great hiding place. He climbs into the toy box. Be very quiet, George. Don't let Peppa hear you. Where is George hiding? Peppa looks behind the curtain, then looks under the table. No one there. Look, the toy box is moving. Peppa creeps up to the box. Found you, George! George was hiding in the toy box all along. Both siblings are very happy. Playing hide and seek is so much fun!
Peppa the warrior and the giant stone. Something is happening! What's going on? Peppa's friends are running very fast. Oh no! A giant rock is rolling toward them. The rock is rolling slowly down the hill. Peppa and George become heroes. Their bodies grow bigger and they wear warrior costumes. They look very cool and strong. Peppa and George run after the giant rock. They push and push, and finally, they stop the rock. Their friends are safe now. Everyone jumps and cheers. Thank you, Peppa. Thank you, George. Peppa and George think, this rock is dangerous. We need to break it so it cannot roll again. But the rock is very big and very hard. So they ask Uncle Bear to bring a big drill. The drill goes brr, brr, brr. It drills the rock again and again. Crack, crack. The giant rock breaks into many small pieces. Now the rock cannot roll anymore. Everyone is safe. Peppa and George are very happy. They did a good thing today. Peppa and George spotted a wooden bridge across a stream and decided to cross it. The wooden bridge seemed a bit wobbly, but Peppa is always the bravest one. Sometimes, even a leaf can throw off your balance, but Peppa never gives up. Halfway across, Peppa stops to admire the stream below, but George is worrying about her safety. The bridge shakes a little, but Peppa crosses it successfully. Now it's George's turn. Although George is a bit scared, Peppa is ready to help him face this challenge.
The umbrella of friendship. Peppa and Susie were strolling along the street. Peppa was carrying a foldable pink umbrella. What an exciting walk! But look, gray clouds are coming and bringing an unexpected rain. Oh no, Susie doesn't have an umbrella. Don't worry, Susie. We can share this umbrella. Sharing is the best way to keep our hearts warm. Under the pink umbrella, the best friends still feel so cozy. The rain has passed, leaving a brilliant rainbow behind. Friendship is just as beautiful and sparkling as that. A meaningful day when we know how to help each other. See you on our next adventures. A healthy start to the day. Morning is here. The pig family goes out to the yard to start the new day with lots of energy. Stretch high to welcome the new day. Let's try to touch the fluffy white clouds. Woo-hoo-hoo! Bend down a little, then twist side to side. Exercising helps us have a flexible and healthy body. Now it's time to jog in place. Look, the pig family is working out so hard and happily together. A new day is wonderful when we are healthy. The pig family is ready for today's adventures.
Little Pig and Big Pig were walking in the park when they suddenly heard a strange sound coming from behind the bushes. They both stopped and looked at each other curiously. Little Pig started to guess. Could it be a giant bear sleeping in there? And Sister Pig thought, or maybe a squirrel looking for food. The rustling from the bushes grew louder. Neither of them could figure out, what was it? Could it be a monster? And then, suddenly, Daddy Pig jumped out from the bushes, scaring Little Pig and Sister Pig out of their wits. It turned out that Daddy Pig was playing hide and seek. After a moment of panic, the whole pig family laughed out loud. It turned out that the strange thing behind the bush was a fun game that Father Pig thought up. Peppa Pig and Tidy Up Day. Peppa and George's room. Toys are scattered all over the floor. Teddy bears, balls, and building blocks. Peppa looks around the room, a little surprised. George sits among the toys, happily playing. Mummy Pig walks in smiling. Mummy Pig hands a toy box to Peppa. Peppa picks up a teddy bear and puts it into the box. George picks up a ball, but it rolls away. Daddy Pig comes in from outside. Aha! Daddy Pig picks up the ball and hands it back to George. George smiles happily.
Meow, meow! One morning at the park, Peppa told George to sit still while she went to buy lollipops. George happily agreed and sat waiting for Peppa. Oh, meow, 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 meow invited George to play. Peppa returned with 2 lollipops but couldn't find George. It turned out George was having a lot of fun playing with Meow Meow. Meow Meow, Meow Meow, Meow Meow, Meow Meow. Peppa worriedly went to look for George. Oh no! Peppa saw George playing with a giant cat. Meow, 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 meow. Peppa didn't know meow, meow and ran away. Meow, 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 meow. George quickly came to reassure Peppa that Meow Meow was a good friend. Meow, 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 meow. Peppa and Meow Meow got acquainted, and so the three friends played together. Peppa also gave Meow a lollipop. Peppa told George to sit still and wait for her to come back next time. George apologized and promised that he wouldn't wander around on his own again.
One fine evening, Little Pig was sleeping soundly in his room. But as he closed his eyes and fell asleep, a strange dream began. The little pig opened his eyes and found himself at the bottom of the sea, surrounded by colorful fish and beautiful coral reefs. Little Pig wanders into an underwater garden where sea flowers are blooming and dancing to cheerful music. Oh. The baby pig swims like a little fish and can even surf like a superhero. Everything under the sea is fun and colorful. After a wonderful adventure, Little Pig felt a little tired and decided to return to the real world. The water world gradually disappeared, leaving behind a feeling of relief. Peppa and George spotted a rolling wheel in the yard and decided the adventure started here. This wheel seems to never stop, and Peppa had to run fast just to catch up. Despite trying, George couldn't catch the wheel, but he could only laugh after every fall. The wheel didn't just roll fast, it also created a fresh breeze of flowers in the park. Finally, the wheel stopped, and Peppa and George realized that sometimes the best adventures are the simplest ones. And in the end, Peppa and George understood that sometimes letting things roll is the most fun of all. Peppa and the colorful balloons. Peppa walks into the garden and sees a bunch of colorful balloons. Peppa opens her eyes wide and runs closer. George runs after her, looking curiously at the balloons. Peppa gently touches the balloons. George points at the blue balloon and smiles. Peppa gives one balloon to George. George hugs the balloon and runs around. Peppa throws a balloon into the air. Peppa and George look up, surprised. Daddy Pig comes out and sees the balloons floating high. Daddy Pig holds the balloon strings tightly. Peppa and George jump up happily. Peppa and George play together with a bunch of colorful balloons. The whole family laughs happily.
Supermarket. Peppa went to the supermarket with her grandparents and younger brother George. Oh dear, Grandpa Pig wanted to reach for an item high up, but her back hurt too much to reach it. The supermarket employee saw this and offered to help. Grandpa Pig was very happy to have someone to help her. Wow, she's so tall! Grandma Pig was choosing milk and soft foods. George playfully jumped up and down, selecting colorful drinks. Oh no! There was a drink Grandma Pig wanted, but it was too high up. Grandma Pig was again helped by the lovely supermarket employee. Grandma Pig thanked the employee for helping her get her favorite drink. Peppa stood at the seafood counter, looking at the seafood she had never seen before. Wow, they look so strange! Grandpa came over to Peppa and reassured her not to be afraid. The two of them happily admired the seafood. Peppa seems to really enjoy looking at and browsing the seafood stalls, drawn in by the special allure of the fish, crabs, squid, and other sea creatures.
Peppa and 2 leaves. Peppa walks around the garden. Peppa sees 2 leaves lying on the grass. 1 leaf is big and 1 leaf is small. Peppa picks up the big leaf and looks at it closely. Peppa picks up the small leaf with her other hand. Peppa compares the 2 leaves. Peppa puts the 2 leaves on the ground. A gentle breeze blows by. The small leaf starts rolling across the grass. Peppa is surprised and runs after the leaf. George runs over. The leaf stops at his feet. At the same time, Peppa runs up just in time. Peppa picks up both leaves again. Peppa tosses the 2 leaves into the air. The 2 leaves spin and float down slowly. Peppa and George raise their hands to catch the leaves. 1 leaf lands on George's head. Peppa sees it and laughs happily. George laughs too.
Counting with fruits. Wow! Peppa took each apple out of the basket and arranged them in a horizontal row on the table. Counting is fun with sweet apples. Let's see how many apples Peppa has on the table. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5! 5 red apples look so delicious. How far can you count? Now, Peppa is sharing these apples with everyone. 1 for each. Let's count backward together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sharing with family makes counting much more meaningful. Isn't learning to count fun? Danny Dog is brave. Danny Dog was walking happily around his town. La 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 la, la 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 la, he sang. Oh no! There was an open manhole on the road. Danny Dog slipped and fell inside. Splash! Splash! Suddenly, Danny Dog saw something and shouted, "Ah, a ghost!" But then he looked again. Oh, it was just a bag of trash. Haha, that's not a ghost. Mr. Bear, the construction worker, was walking around the neighborhood to check everything. Suddenly, he saw an open manhole on the road. "Oh dear, why is this open?" Mr. Bear said. He felt worried because someone could fall in. Mr. Bear carefully looked down into the manhole and shouted, "Hello! Is anyone down there?" But no one answered. Danny Dog stood up and looked for a way out. He walked and walked but couldn't find the exit. He felt a little worried, but he stayed calm. Suddenly, he heard a sound. Clack, 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 clack. Mr. Bear thought, maybe I need to make a loud noise so someone can hear me. Danny Dog followed the sound. He saw a big iron door, but oh no, the door was not the way out. Then Danny Dog's stomach said, "Grr, grr." He was getting hungry. Suddenly, he heard a sound from above. Someone was calling. "Is anyone there? Hello! Knock, 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 knock. Danny Dog looked up and saw a ladder. Yay! The way out! He climbed the ladder and finally got out of the dark sewer. Mr. Bear continued shouting and making loud noises. Bang! 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 Boom! 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 Danny Dog was safe and very happy. Mr. Bear praised Danny Dog for being very intelligent and brave for overcoming his fear and calmly finding a way out.